Ready?
Ready to go?
No, he's serious.
Okay, hello, welcome everyone. This is Emily, we have Greg, and we have Danny. We're all Marshall Ford Swing Band. They have just completed a very intense 3-day tour of downtown Greensboro, the International Folk Festival. And you guys, what do you think? How was your experience?
Ready to move here.
Okay, do we have a real estate agent in the house? Anybody? You got some property? Anybody ready to get rid of it?
We're looking for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1 level, maybe 1,700 square feet. Room for a dog.
With a small recording studio attached. You got it?
Just built it.
It really is a beautiful town.
We'll see you there. We're going to take over.
I know you guys do a lot of these festivals. And it's a lot like, I'm going to pick up stats, it's a lot like the Austin Music Festival as it's seen, where anything goes, all kind of diverse music scene. How did you feel? Did you get a good reception here? Did you enjoy it?
I think this is way more diverse than Austin. And you got to see people from all over the world play.
Yeah, from Ethiopia, China, I mean, all over.
So
as far as that, go ahead, Danny.
Yeah. There we have two kinds of festivals in Austin. There's one festival called the ACLU Fest. No, that's not what it's called.
ACL.
Thank you. And it's just big, huge pop stars, basically. And there's a small stage where they have Austin music, but it's usually scheduled for like when everybody's asleep. And then we have South by Southwest, which is a festival I think most of the people in our band try to be gone during that week because the town goes crazy with people from actually all over the world, like bands from Norway and China and young bands trying to get record deals. So far, in about 30 years of that festival, South by Southwest, first of all, they've added a film part, they've added an interactive part. It's like anything you can think of. We can't get a gig at that festival because we're local great musicians. And neither of them have much local great anything. I don't blame you for leaving. But so these national folk festivals seem really more real and more like there's a lot of really great talent that is not heard at the more commercial big festivals. Anyway.
True. Yeah, and I carried my amp in a shopping cart to my gig at South by because I couldn't get close enough parking. Not this year. I was lucky enough to be on tour this year. But it's a great festival, so come to Austin and during South by Southwest.
We will see when there's not a festival and there's a lot of music.
Yeah, we'll be playing then.
Okay, now 2 of the performances you did, I think yesterday you had the City Stages of Jazz, and then there was Fiddler, you and other groups performed, or was it just you and the Fiddler?
They did I was there too, but basically the jazz, they were trying to do a panel with jazz being a common element in lots of different music, and it was a great thing.
Oh, it was amazing. We got to hear, I was more excited about getting to hear everybody else play. Sun Ra was there, and that blew my mind. And then some of the people from, is it Orchestra or Orchestra SCC were there, and they were awesome. So, and then we played a very...
also the Bulgarian band, and I really dug the Ethiopian guys.
They were cool.
Yeah, I don't even know what you call this instrument, but it's kind of like a fiddle, but it just has one string.
Yeah.
And then we all jammed, and it was a pretty good jam, I thought.
It was good. And everybody could play along.
Speaking of jamming, when it comes to your music, Western swing, or however you want to call it, it's considered is there much room? Do you like to keep it a tight arrangement, or do y'all sometimes, your group's been together a while, do you like to sometimes see, if you get locked into a groove, to see how far it goes, or do you rather keep your arrangement tight?
Depends on how long the gig is.
The gig
And the tune, I think is keeping it diverse. I like some well-arranged pieces, but I also like a piece where everybody can stretch out in an improvisational way as well.
So there's no fine jar if somebody tries to go off on something that
Well, certain tunes may have a tighter arrangement where everybody knows that the song just goes that way, but then other tunes, might be either Emily or I will lead, or Danny will lead, and we stretch it out in whatever way we might want to do at the time. So if that answers your question.
We play a lot of swing music, so we're playing like older. When we play cowboy music too, and some of it's original, but generally it's a rather structured framework. But if somebody's soloing, if they're going, they have the option to keep going.
Until somebody steps on your feet.
Until somebody throws something. But relatively speaking, compared to like Sun Ra, it's not like, okay, you get 16 bars and your time's up. And if you play with Sun Ra, it's like you can play all day.
Yeah.
Once you're done speaking, then it's the next guy's turn. Yeah.
Yes.
Right. And Emily, I know you get asked this a lot, and talked about your family history, your grandfather.
Mm-hmm.
Was there ever a time in your life when you just wanted to turn your back on that and just cut your hair with a broken bottle and dye it outrageous colors and
Oh yeah.
and just pound out one or two chords and scream blessings?
Oh yeah, definitely. We were just talking about that on the way over here. Yeah, I wanted to play all kinds of music when I was in high school, and I still do, but there was a time when I wanted to play guitar and kind of play rock and roll punk type music. But I was also learning bar chords at the same time and playing with my family. So I think I've always embraced it because my grandpa was such a fun person to be around, and he was just infectious, So I always loved Western swing and wanted to play it for the most part. But I also did want to, kick things over and spit in people's faces too. Just for a few years.
Well, I mean, don't at all. And I'll get back to you guys. But didn't he, if I'm not mistaken, was he not in the Clint Eastwood movie?
Was he what?
Yeah, Clint Eastwood film.
He was Honky Tonk Man.
Okay.
Yeah.
He played Bob Wills.
He did, yeah. And he was in Honeysuckle Rose, a Willie Nelson movie, and anything else? Can you remember?
Movie-wise?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think that was it. He did Hee-Haw a little bit.
But I'd say that Johnny is the common thread, and the reason that we all know each other probably is for the love of his music, and it's like, spanning generations. And we probably wouldn't know each other if it wasn't for as inspired as I've been, and I know Danny was.
You were in his camp. You went to his camp, didn't you?
Yeah,
Okay.
and Danny was actually an instructor at the camp. So yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I've been demoted. But I want to say this about Johnny Gimbel and the Texas Playboys and generally Western swing in general. Those guys all listened to the urban music, the urban jazz that was going on. They had heard of Django before anybody else, but they listened to anything that they could get their hands on. And then the thing about them, besides that, they were not cowboys that grew, they might have grown up near a ranch, but they were not, they had country in them, but they were hipsters. And they had, all of them that I knew, tremendous sense of humor. A lot of them drank too much, but they were really fun people. So you asked Emily if she rebelled against her granddad. There was nothing really to rebel against. He was just the coolest guy in the world. And also a real sweetheart. And I'll add this. I was talking to the bluegrass guys. The difference between Bill Monroe and Johnny Gimbel. Bill Monroe, if you take Johnny Gimbel's smile and turn it upside down, that's what Bill Monroe looked like. And I love bluegrass.
Yeah.
I like that.
The music seems to be pegged in Texas, and probably in that generation, you find that there are places that you maybe Eastern Europe, or just like somebody's like, wow, are there just places where you just suddenly find yourself popular you just wouldn't expect?
Well, we've never been to Eastern Europe, but I thought we did. We went to Shanghai, China one time, and we did very well there. And we had some Chinese fans here at the festival that came and talked to us, and they asked how our experience was when we were there, and I said, at points it felt like being in the Beatles, because people would come up to you, you know, wanting pictures, and they'd want to hang out, and it was pretty cool.
So yeah, you're big in China, and then you here you
Big in China and in Greensboro. And that's about it.
So what are you working on now? Are you working on new music or an album?
We just finished a record. We actually finished recording it 2.5, 3 years ago. And after we finished it, Greg started playing with Wayne Hancock. James, our drummer, was already on the road with Junior Brown. I started playing with Asleep at the Wheel, and we never released the record. So we just finished the artwork, and we have it ready to go here for this festival. So
yeah, this was the motivator, actually, to get it put out. Like, we got to get the record out for the festival, you know?
So we have a new record out, but I'm sure when we get home, we're going to start learning.
It's still for sale at the merchandise tent if you haven't gotten a copy yet. You know? We have two albums, actually.
It's just in.
So yes, people, rush, don't walk, don't run, don't walk.
Oh, did you already pick up the CDs? Oh,
No,
okay.
they're still for sale right now.
Okay.
You can still get a copy.
Okay.
If you
They
want.
have like 4 left?
3, I think.
Oh, 3, only 3.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh my God.
And hot cakes do sell.
We do have a general plan. This happens to be the first folk festival we've done. There was a hiatus of 3 years, but we had played the National Folk Festival in Bangor, Richmond, Lowell, Butte, Montana, Nashville, one of the first ones, and we loved doing them. But the kids all got other, more prestigious gigs, and I have a job. I'm trying to quit my job, but I think we all really had a great time here this time. We're planning to come back next year and do as many of these as we can because they're great. It's just great.
Do you approach your music differently at these outdoor festivals as opposed to playing shows, or is it just music is music?
We try to jump around more and wear more flashy clothes.
Yeah, you got enough room to. I need to get some better clothes.
We're pretty much the same, but we played the city stage. We only had 30 minutes or 40, so just try to keep it more upbeat. And then for the dance pavilion, we want people to dance, and not everybody feels comfortable dancing to stuff that's fast. So we mellowed down, I think, a little bit today, and kept people on the dance floor.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Speaking of upbeat, your music is generally upbeat. Have you ever tried to challenge yourself to write depressing lyrics to an upbeat song? Is there been some kind of challenge for that?
Oh yeah, we write depressing lyrics, or there's tons of songs that are like that are upbeat, and if you actually were just grooving to the beat, and you might not even notice that it's a song about heartbreak or something of that nature because it's so upbeat.
You never had an audience all of a sudden just go, wait a minute.
They're dancing really fast, but also crying. I mean, that generally happens.
That's good. You got to touch on a wide range of emotions. It's like food. If you touch all the parts of the palate, then you're experiencing more. So if you're experiencing more than one emotion at the same time, then that's great. Your brain is healthy.
MD, right here, Greg Harper.
That's right. That's what I do in my free time. I'm glad you agree.
I'm just thinking that's what they must have told you as they checked off.
Check me out of where? I've been checked in and out of a couple places.
That was me that just checked out. But we actually, truth, the tradition we come from, there's a lot of silly lyrics. And there is, we were talking about some connection between Bob Wills and cartoon music. which is false. There is no such connection. But I don't know. It's just that the music, it's feel-good music and make you want to dance generally. But when we, in a concert situation, we try to feature the talent that we have in the band. Everybody in this band, I won't speak for me, but Emily is a unique vocalist and amazing piano player. Greg has his own style on guitar. I don't know anybody like that, and he's written some tunes that nobody else on earth would have written. And James and Chris are a special rhythm section that feels like nothing else I've ever worked with. And
that's right, they're in the audience too, folks.
Stand up, James Gwynn. Go ahead and stand up. Yeah. How about you, Chris Wade? Come on. That's the bass man right there. He bought those pants especially for this trip, ladies and gentlemen.
They are sharp. In the songwriting, how do you work out the songwriting with them?
Well, most of the songs we do are traditional songs, but there is a songwriting element, and I guess me and Chris are probably the main guys who have contributed original music to the band, and there's about 2 or 3 original songs per record, I would say.
And I've done some of my grandpa's songs also.
Yeah, we do some of the Johnny Gimmel originals as well. But I'll say this, like, well, I forgot what I was gonna say actually. No, I have a song I wrote called
I forgot.
We got time. Can you remember it?
No, it's okay. Oh, yeah, there is 2 songs on the new album that I wrote, and one is like a bossa nova song, which is kind of branching out feel-wise for this band, and the other is a more traditional song about Texas that's actually inspired by Johnny Gimmel and songs that he's written. So it's not as good as any of the songs about Texas that he wrote, but you know, I'm still trying.
Okay, now I forgot what I was going to say.
It's infectious, man.
Everyone, run for your lives. Okay, since I seem to go on blind, do we want to, does anyone have any questions for the members up here? Speak now. Tick tock, tick tock. Okay, well, these guys have a jet warming up, and they're going to go fly all over the world and do amazing things with their music. They have finished up the folk festival. They played 5 stops. They had 3 shows, and they did 2 workshops, I guess they called them. And no questions?
Well, I'd like to thank everybody here in Greensboro and Red, our he's our band, Brad. And then all the staff involved with the folk festival. You know, everybody makes it so easy to get where you need to be and to do what you need to do. And I know I'm happy the city's taking over the festival next year, and you'll keep it just as awesome. So thank you.
Okay, once again, Emily, Greg, and Danny, out the Ford Spring Band.
Thanks for having me.